Hey everybody, how are you? Another episode, my first episode actually, of wagering for you. It's been a long haul for me. It has. I'll give you a little bit, being that this is our first broadcast and our first meeting together. I used to move games in Las Vegas in the 90s with MIT, and we have an algorithm set up. And I still, from time to time, now that gambling is legal here in New York, where I am, dip my toes. I thought that it would be a good idea to share some of the knowledge because I know that sports bettors many times throw darts at the wall. Oh, my favorite team. I want to watch the game on television. Watching the game on television is the worst thing forcing a bet. I've done it many times. Back in the old days when I didn't know as much as I know now, it doesn't work. So each day, I'm going to give you a couple of selections that are looked at by his staff in Las Vegas, and I'll have a super chat eventually up here, but I'll have a cash app. And if you do well, I'd appreciate you support the channel because that's how we can continue to win together. Let's go on the board right now with Major League Baseball. Today's first play over 9. Angels of Baltimore 705 635 start, I'm sorry. And I'll tell you, Griffin Canning is not any good. Last season he had a 1.48 whip. That's runners per inning. So he's given up pretty much 1.5 runners per inning, allowing them on base. He allowed 14 home runs over 62 plus innings on his way to a 5.6 ERA. And he allowed 5 runs in both of his last 2 starts. Canning had a 6.38 ERA and a 1.38 whip this season, so not much different. Kyle Bradish hasn't been great for the Orioles as well. Buck-and-a-half whip over his last 6 starts. There have been at least 10 runs scored in both of these first 2 games that they played, and I like this pitching matchup, the soar over the 9. So that's one play for you. Second play is another over that I have, and that's Tampa. Yeah, I know Tampa. The Mets this morning called up Mark Vientos, one of their sluggers in the minor leagues. He'll probably be placed in at DH, and later today, someone will probably be reassigned from the Met Club. We're not sure who that is at this point. But tonight, Tampa Bay at Mets, 7:10 start, over the 8.5. These teams combined for 13 runs in the series opener last night. Mets got going a little late with some meaningless home runs. The Rays have scored the most runs in baseball, and the starting rotation has been hit hard by injuries. And that's contributed to the combined total of each of the last 5 games going over 10 runs. They're going to roll out Josh Fleming, who has a career 1.4 whip and 15.4 strikeout rate. So he can get the ball through the batters, but as well, bats can hit him at a fairly hard rate. Starting for the Mets will be Kodai Senga, 1.5 whip. These 1.5 whips are very prevalent today over his last 7 starts in the major leagues. Based on the pitching matchup, I think there's a path of double-digit runs being scored here again. And I have to go over the 8.5. I think 8.5 is a pretty decent number. If the Mets are lucky enough to be 4-4 anytime soon, you're going to go over. Dodgers minus 145 at 3:10 p.m. That's an early start. Get that going. The Twins got the better of the Dodgers last night. And now they're sending the MLB leader, Sonny Gray, on the hill. Keep in mind that Dustin May's having a great season himself for the Dodgers. They should be able to handle Minnesota's lineup. That's a very feast or famine lineup. Uh, LA is winning in 68% of these games that we modulated. So the Dodgers minus 145. So to recap the Major League Baseball, we have over 9 Angels of Baltimore, 6:35 start. We have over 8.5 Mets in Tampa, 7:10 start, and we have the Dodgers minus 145 at 3:10. We think they'll take care of business after losing last night. We'll go to the NHL. I'm a big NHL fan, as my whole family is. Tomorrow night, I'm going to give you just a little thought of where I think this game goes. Florida, Carolina starting a series. Going to be a tough series. Uh, Florida owns a minus 43 shot differential. The Hurricanes are plus 60 this postseason. Carolina's surrendered 306 shots in 11 games. Florida's allowed 423 shots in 12 games. Hurricanes are 2-1 against the Panthers this season, outshooting Florida in all three games, 110 to 80. Carolina 7-3 when playing with 3 days more days of rest. Blah blah blah. It's early. Take the Hurricanes in game one. Like that a lot. That's tomorrow, so you have a day to think about it. To think if you want to depend on me to get you out of the hole. Hopefully, you're not in a hole. Hopefully, you're doing this for purposes entertainment, not starting a gambling career. I don't advise it. Um, if you haven't bet by now, don't start. But if you bet, give me a shot. Tonight, Miami at Boston. Um, Good series. Miami's overachieved during these playoffs. But I like them plus the 8 tonight against Boston. The Heat are well rested. They knocked off the Knicks in 6 games. That was surprising. Knicks just can't shoot. Celtics had to claw back from a 3-2 series deficit against the Sixers to advance to this round. In the first round, the Heat defeated the Bucks by 13 points in Milwaukee game one. In the second round, they beat the Knicks by 7 in game one. They might not win this game, but the spread is too big. Did you really think I'd pick against my guy, Jimmy Butler? Nah, well, plus 8, I think Boston grinds a 4 to 5 point win. So there you have the picks for today. Hopefully, you'll tune in every day to get the latest, and I'll start analyzing some games. Of course, delve into the series NHL as it goes further as the NBA. Everyone have a wonderful day. Good luck. I hope you nail it today. Take your book's money. He deserves it by now, doesn't he?